Imagine a world weary of extravagance, a society overwhelmed by the ornate and the overly decorative. Yearning for order amidst chaos, people began to seek a return to simplicity and structure. This was Europe in the late 18th century, a time ripe for change, a period on the cusp of transformation. The extravagance of the Baroque and Rococo periods had run their course, their elaborate details and dramatic contrasts no longer resonating with the evolving tastes of society. A new movement emerged, one that sought to recapture the classical ideals of ancient Greece and Rome, ideals that emphasized harmony, balance, and proportion. NeoClassicism championed reason, order, and clarity, drawing inspiration from the art of antiquity. It was a return to the fundamentals, a revival of the classical spirit. Archaeological discoveries like Pompeii and Herculaneum fueled this fascination, providing tangible connections to the ancient world and its artistic achievements. NeoClassicism quickly spread throughout Europe, embraced by patrons eager to align with ancient values. These patrons saw in NeoClassicism a reflection of their own desires for stability and rationality in an increasingly complex world. The movement influenced not just art, but also architecture, literature, and even politics, as the ideals of the classical past were woven into the fabric of contemporary life. Artists and architects meticulously studied ancient works, striving to emulate their timeless beauty and enduring principles. The result was a body of work that stood in stark contrast to the excesses of the previous eras, embodying a new vision of elegance and restraint. Today, the legacy of NeoClassicism endures, a testament to a time when the world looked back to move forward, finding inspiration in the ancient to create something profoundly new. The allure of the classical world for neoclassical artists lay in its perceived purity and timeless beauty. They were captivated by the elegance and simplicity that Greek art and culture represented. This fascination was not just a fleeting trend, but a profound admiration for the ideals of harmony and proportion that the ancient Greeks so masterfully embodied. Ancient Greek art, with its balance and idealized human form, held particular sway. The Greeks' dedication to depicting the human body in its most perfect form resonated deeply with neoclassical artists. They saw in these ancient works a blueprint for achieving artistic excellence and a means to elevate their own creations to new heights of beauty and sophistication. Roman art, with its grand narratives and civic virtue, also influenced neoclassical artists. The Romans' ability to tell powerful stories through their art, celebrating heroism, duty, and the grandeur of the state, provided a rich source of inspiration. Neoclassical artists sought to capture this sense of grandeur and moral purpose in their own works, creating pieces that were not only visually stunning, but also imbued with deeper meaning. Classical architecture, with its temples, arches, and columns, provided a sense of order and permanence. The architectural principles of symmetry, proportion, and the use of classical orders became a cornerstone of neoclassical design. These elements were seen as a way to bring a sense of stability and timelessness to the modern world, reflecting the enduring legacy of ancient civilizations. Neoclassical artists reinterpreted the spirit of antiquity, using classical themes to convey contemporary messages. They drew upon the rich tapestry of Greek myths and Roman history to comment on the issues of their own time, blending the old with the new in innovative ways. This fusion of past and present allowed them to create works that were both rooted in tradition and relevant to their contemporary audience. The influence extended beyond visual arts, impacting music, literature, and fashion. Composers, writers, and designers all looked to the classical world for inspiration, infusing their works with the elegance and refinement of ancient Greece and Rome. This cross-disciplinary influence helped to create a cohesive cultural movement that celebrated the enduring legacy of classical antiquity in all its forms. Jacques-Louis David, the preeminent painter of the French Revolution, stands as a towering figure in neoclassical art. His influence extended far beyond his own works, shaping the direction of art in a time of great political and social upheaval. David's commitment to the principles of clarity, order, and moral integrity made his paintings not just works of art, but powerful statements of his era. His paintings, such as The Oath of the Horatii and The Death of Marat, are masterpieces of clarity and moral conviction. The Oath of the Horatii, with its stark lines and dramatic composition, captures the essence of duty and sacrifice. The Death of Marat, on the other hand, immortalizes a martyr of the revolution, blending political propaganda with personal tragedy. These works are not only visually stunning, but also rich in narrative and emotional depth. Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, a student of David, continued the neoclassical tradition with a more sensual and refined quality. Ingres' approach to neoclassicism was characterized by his exquisite draftsmanship and his ability to infuse his subjects with a sense of grace and elegance. His works often featured smooth, flowing lines and a meticulous attention to detail that set them apart from those of his contemporaries. Ingres' meticulous attention to detail elevated neoclassical portraiture. His portraits, such as those of Madame Moitessier and Napoleon I, are celebrated for their lifelike quality and the delicate rendering of textures and fabrics. Ingres' ability to capture the essence of his subjects with such precision and sensitivity made him one of the most sought-after portraitists of his time. Antonio Canova, an Italian sculptor, created works that rivaled the beauty of classical Greek sculpture. Canova's sculptures are renowned for their idealized forms and their ability to convey a sense of movement and emotion. His mastery of marble allowed him to create figures that seemed almost alive, with a softness and fluidity that belied the hardness of the material. His Psyche, revived by Cupid's kiss, exemplifies neoclassicism's quest for ideal beauty. The sculpture, with its delicate interplay of forms and its tender depiction of love and awakening, captures the essence of neoclassical aesthetics. Canova's ability to balance idealized beauty with emotional depth made his works timeless masterpieces. These artists embodied the neoclassical spirit, striving for perfection and timeless relevance. Their works continue to inspire and captivate audiences today, reminding us of the enduring power of art to reflect and shape the human experience. Through their dedication to the principles of neoclassicism, David, Ingres, and Canova created a legacy that transcends time, offering us a glimpse into the pursuit of perfection that defined their era. Neoclassicism's influence extended far beyond painting and sculpture, reaching into various other domains. It permeated architecture, literature, music, and even fashion, leaving a lasting legacy. Grand public buildings and private residences adopted classical vocabulary and design principles. Writers like Jane Austen and Mary Shelley drew upon classical themes and motifs in their works. Fashion reflected the neoclassical aesthetic with simpler, flowing garments that emphasized elegance. Neoclassicism's emphasis on reason and order resonated deeply with the Enlightenment's focus on rationality and progress. Seeds of rebellion, Romanticism's challenge to neoclassical order. Romanticism rejected the cool rationality and emotional restraint of neoclassicism. Romantic artists celebrated emotion, imagination, and the sublime. They embraced the wild, the untamed, and the deeply personal. This shift mirrored the political and social upheavals of the time. The French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars fueled disillusionment with Enlightenment ideals. Romanticism emerged as a reaction against neoclassicism's perceived rigidity. A different kind of light, the Impressionist Revolution. By the mid-19th century, a new generation of artists emerged, determined to break free from conventions. The Impressionists sought to capture the fleeting effects of light and atmosphere. They embraced a looser, more painterly style, painting en plein air. The focus on light and color marked a radical departure from the past. Photography and Japanese woodblock prints influenced their work. The Impressionists celebrated the ephemeral and the beauty of the everyday. The Bouguereau and Waterhouse neoclassicism's enduring appeal. Even as Impressionism gained momentum, some artists continued to find inspiration in the classical tradition. William Adolphe Bouguereau achieved popularity with idealized depictions of mythological subjects. John William Waterhouse drew upon classical themes in his dreamlike paintings. Waterhouse's works, like The Lady of Shalott, displayed a debt to the neoclassical tradition. These artists resonated with audiences who admired the beauty and connection to European art's grand tradition. Beyond the canvas, neoclassicism's legacy in architecture and design. Neoclassicism's influence continued in architecture and design. The classical revival saw a resurgence of Greek and Roman architectural forms. In the United States, neoclassicism became the style of choice for Washington, D.C. The Capitol building and the White House stand as symbols of American democracy. Neoclassical influences appeared in furniture, ceramics, and textiles. Its clean lines and geometric forms project an image of timeless elegance. A timeless dialogue. Neoclassicism's enduring influence on art. Neoclassicism's influence continues to be felt in art today. 20th century artists like Picasso and Matisse drew inspiration from classical art. Contemporary artists explore themes of history, mythology, and the human condition. Neoclassicism speaks to fundamental human concerns about beauty and truth. Its influence extends to literature, music, and film. Neoclassicism remains a vital part of the ongoing dialogue between past, present, and future. Conclusion: a bridge to modernity. Neoclassicism served as a bridge between the Renaissance and the modern era. It provided a language of visual expression that resonated with Enlightenment ideals. Its legacy can be seen in grand public buildings and classical themes in various art forms. Neoclassicism's emphasis on clarity and balance continues to resonate, ensuring its place in the story of art.